For me personally, obviously, it's definitely not worth it doing any of the cosmetic surgeries and all that kind of thing. But especially in the Western world, I think we're under so much pressure. MTV Base, media, the Beyonce. We want to look like them so much that we even the basic thing as we Beyonce will have gold hair and probably a bun there. But then what we don't tend not to realise is she does that just for that video shoot. It's not an everyday wear. And I go the next day to my hairdresser and I want that same thing. And it just looks ridiculous in me. There is a lot of pressure from the media. I think that's what puts a lot of people in this kind of predicament. However, again, it comes to choice. I mean, I probably want to be as beautiful as someone or as thin as someone, but there are certain things I won't do. I won't go. I mean, look at my belly now. Right now, I go to the gym 5 times a week. I wake 6:30 in the morning to do my spinning classes, to do my body combat and all those things. You know, it's a choice that I've made to do it a healthy way. Watch what I eat and, you know, consciously do things rather than taking the easy way out and probably go and do a liposuction and all that kind of thing. But I think we do have a lot of pressures from the media. The media doesn't do us justice. The music videos, especially the black videos and all these American ones, they don't do justice to us as well because the men and everyone, they make you think you have to probably dress a certain way for you to look, you know, sexy. You have to look a certain, you know. What I don't understand, especially is the videos. Why does a woman have to be half naked for you to be appealing? Why do you, if you're doing a video, why does your ladies have to wear bikinis for them to look okay? Why can't I just wear a long dress and still look sexy? And for me personally, this has always been something in my head. And about 3-4 years ago, I consciously made this decision that I want a man to see me and my body fully dressed, and I still want to look sexy, and you know, I still want to look appealing. I don't have to have my boobs hanging out, or my legs, or my skirt up to my waist for them to think I'm sexy. And one of the things that we probably don't realise is the man doesn't necessarily want you for who you are. They want you for your body, because that's the first thing you're actually selling to them. So that's basically what you're selling here, sex, believe it or not. But
objectification of women, you become an object rather than a human being.
Exactly. So
that's the bit that I don't understand. I don't understand why we are in a position where intelligent young women look at some of these things and they cannot identify that we are being objectified, and instead they choose to go down that route. I don't have a problem if you make a conscious decision as to the fact that that's what you want to do. That's fine. But my problem is people who look at that and think, oh my God, that's what beautiful is, and that's what I aspire to. People who know no better. And again, that brings us to the whole issue of the media. I struggle. A lot of people blame the media wholly and solely. But I do believe, again, we've spoken about personal choices quite a bit. I do believe that you should be able to tell what's right from what's wrong, especially I mean, Claudia, for example, she was in her 20s, and I'll come back to some of the things that
she's
through.
a young, naive girl. I mean, the maturity that you and I are sitting down there and speaking, probably years ago while I was in university, I mean, there's certain crazy things that I want to do. We're not subjective when we don't lay things out. We know maturity over years helps us to make more conscious decisions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't want to make it about her. But what I want to ask is, what do you think it is about you that would make you not go down that route compared to somebody who chooses to do so?
Well, I think that there are lots and lots of layers here. In terms of why I wouldn't make that choice and why that isn't for me, is that after years of, as a young person, you want to conform, you want to be like other people, you have these images and stuff, and you want to be like them, then you come to realise, well, actually, I'm actually quite cool, thank you very much. Bottom line, I've got legs, I've got arms, I've got a brain, I can function, I'm a human being, that's the most important thing. But on another level, when I go out, when I get dressed, I like what I see in the mirror. It's taken a little while for that to happen, I'll be honest with you, but I like what I see in the mirror. And yes, we all have our off days, but there are many days when I look in there and I actually look at myself and I smile and I think, cool, I'm good to go. But in terms of beauty and other people, the internet has a lot to do with this. Celebrity culture, celebrity lifestyles are so much more accessible than they ever were. So when I was growing up, I was competing with my friends in my school. These young people growing up, they actually do think that they have to be like Nicki Minaj. They do actually have to be like Kim Kardashian. They do actually have to be like Eva Longoria or whoever is the hottie of the time. And they're actually competing with that. In addition to that, the Western culture dominates. The Western culture is the culture with the most of the money and most of the power within the world. So the whole world looks to and aspires to the Western culture. Well, not the whole world, there are some cultures that are really true to themselves and don't need to, but there are lots of places, particularly places that were ex-colonies, look to the Western culture and see that as the ideal. They aspire to be like that. So when I go back to Sierra Leone, you have people under the hot, hot sun wearing hoodies and puffer jackets because they want to look like the hip-hop videos. Seriously, you have women using really toxic skin lightening products because they want to look like Beyonce, they want to look like the Hispanic exotic women because they are told that is what is beautiful. Dark is not beautiful, African features are not beautiful, therefore you are not good enough, you will not be accepted within the Western world, and they aspire to live within that world. In addition to that, because there are these people that portray themselves as a body, as a vehicle for sex, and they get attention that way, there are a number of particularly young women who think that that is the only way that they're going to generate attention, that is the only way they're going to attract the opposite sex, and that is the only way their female peers will actually give them ratings because they're so pretty, every guy wants to get with them, every girl wants to be their friend. On Twitter, for example, I see that day in, day out. I see young women tweeting, I've just taken my bra off, I feel so liberated. I see young people tweeting, somebody's made a comment, I saw this person and I got an erection or whatever. They're retweeting that. You are making yourself seem like a sexual object, but it would appear that being a sexual object is a lot of people's target. That's what a lot of people want to do.
I recently saw there's a girl well, I guess there are loads of them, but this is one actually. So I was taken aback. Her avatar on there is a naked picture, a nude picture of herself. And I was thinking, most of the people following her, obviously, yeah, guys. And I was thinking, why would you want to do that? Because the thing about Twitter, it's a public thing. Everybody can see what's going on there. And I'm thinking, what sort of reputation are you? What are you trying to portray? What do you want people to think? Because I mean, we spoke about judgments. Exactly, we spoke about judgments earlier. I would make a judgment from seeing something like that, and I couldn't take somebody like that seriously. And I don't believe any guy really would take somebody like that seriously and wife them. No. And that's the thing that a lot of girls don't seem to realize, especially when you're young and naive. You feel as though you need to be this way in order to. You would attract a guy. It's probably only going to be for 1 or 2 nights. It's not going to be for a lifetime. And that's one of the things that I really want to get out there. Imani, I'm going to come back to you. What was your take on this whole thing? I think you mentioned you had a lot. You had a lot going on. You had things about the watershed and everything. What could you just?
You know how you were saying about the girl who put up her nude picture? Like, to you lot, that seems like, oh, what's she doing? But to her, it's like, I'm going to get raped for it. Because, like, obviously, my friends are going to see it. Then they're going to tell their friends. Then they're going to tell their friends. So eventually, people are going to see you and they're going to, like, follow you more. So you'll get, like, more popular for it. And stuff with the watershed, like, really, there isn't really a watershed anymore because, like, more kids are staying up late. So more kids are seeing what they shouldn't be seeing. But then, like, if you think of it, when you go see a film, there's not really a watershed there because, like, there's 12As that have quite a lot of content that shouldn't be in there. So
Even cartoons.
yeah, that's true actually.
And even some of the adverts, like perfume adverts and stuff, some of the things I see, I'm like,
Even
why is that
vegan.
necessary? Why is everything so sexualized? Why are women being objectified in such a manner?
Even Barbie. Did you
I won't
hear-
buy a Barbie
yeah.
for my child, I'm sorry.
Because it's just so, it's literally a sex object.
Yeah.
Their boobs.
Well,
Yes,
do you know,
the
my
clothes.
daughter was 4 years old, and there was one day, randomly, we were at home, she was getting dressed, and she had her skirt and her vest on, and she put her hand on her hips. She was 3 at the time, because she just told her, "Mummy, aren't I sexy?"
Wow.
And I said, "Where did you hear that word?" And then she said it again, so I thought, I'm not going to play on it, I'm going to ignore that. And I saw, when I go to pick her up from nursery, sometimes I look at the window to see what her and her friends are doing, just to see how she interacts when I'm not around. And I could see that there were some girls that were doing that. So from a very, very young age, we are teaching our children that this is what it is to be a woman, this is what it is to be accepted, this is what it is to be appreciated. Now, by any means, I am not going to make out like I don't go out scantily clad, because I have had, and I will continue to, as long as my body looks okay and I don't look too old, I will wear certain things. However, I'm not going to carry myself like I'm Cat Stacks or like I'm one of those sorts of people. And all of those things make a difference. If you've been brought up to think that you are valuable just for you, you won't have to think that I have to be naked or practically naked for me to be valuable. And there are other things that your value is based on, not just your sex appeal. However, the way that things are, things like Twitter, people want instant fame, reality TV, all those things, people want instant fame, instant gratification. So a quick way to do that, I have my bum out, I have my tits out, I'll be posing like I've just had an orgasm or something, and people will be interested and you'll have the attention. However, sorry, I know I'm going on, the flip side of that is, because there is so much of that, I've observed that there has been a real sort of resurgence of women who are like, no, that's not what I'm about. I'm actually going to get the glory, get the fame, get the recognition, because I'm a positive force and I'm around positive women and I'm around positive people, and we're elevating ourselves, which is why, in saying that I will gravitate towards people that are like me, I want to be around people who are going to challenge me and elevate me, that will enable me to bring other people with me, and that's who I want to be affiliated with. And there are lots and lots of people out there who are like that, and there are more and more people out there who are like that. It's just unfortunate that the first thing that will catch our eye would be the naked woman, rather than the woman who's got a lot of intelligent stuff to say about herself.
You pointed out something which was, again, takes me back to what I was just about to go to talk about, because my next thing was going to be, whose responsibility do we think it is to ensure that young people don't get these false impressions of what beauty is? You mentioned the whole briefly. Do we think it's a responsibility of parents? Because people blame the media, and I agree to a point, but I have been interested in the media for long, and I've been exposed to certain things for a very long time. I went to school where people took drugs and did things that ideally they shouldn't do. Not that I'm looking down on anyone, but I believe my home had a lot to do with me not getting involved in certain things, because my parents, I'll never forget, I sort of had a tiff with my mom and dad quite a few years ago, and I was being the normal teenager, and I was, I don't understand why you always blah 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 blah. After all, I don't smoke, I don't do this, I don't do that like my other friends. My dad was like, am I supposed to give you an award because you don't smoke? Did you meet me smoking in my house? Like, am I supposed to award you? And it hit me that actually he does have a point. So exactly, like you're right. So are we saying that the home is most responsible to for ensuring that young people don't find themselves in these positions? Is it the media? Do we think the media should be more regulated?
I don't think it should be more regulated. Fundamentally, it does come from your home. Your parents chose to have you. They chose to bring you into this world. They have a responsibility to raise you and raise you to have the moral fibre to know the difference between right and wrong. However, I know that when I was a teenager, I couldn't give a good goddamn what my mum and dad thought. It was all about what my friends thought. And if I was a teenager now, and I've got every image on the internet is X is what looks good, everywhere I go, that is what I'm flooded with, I would have a real battle with what I've been brought up with and what everybody else thinks is cool.